In my opinion, it's very important that the ownership structure mirror the management structure in the business. And because of that, we're what's known today as a cousin consortium. So a cousin consortium basically is a term that's used in family businesses, generally in a third generation, sometimes in a second generation business, where there's a number of different cousins who have ownership in the business. As the company continues to grow and more cousins get added, the ownership and the management continues to get more complex. Today, our company is primarily owned by the third generation. There's 16 stockholders of the third generation, 9 of whom work in the business. In order to make sure that they're properly represented, you have to have transparency. You have to have consensus building in your decision making. An autocratic style of a single president and CEO making decisions in a family business with such diverse family ownership just simply doesn't work today. In my opinion, a cousin consortium comes very naturally if the ownership is somewhat equally divided. As you get into those, very diluted type of ownership structures, you really need to educate and involve in your decision-making process what's going on in the business if you want to keep harmony. It's really important that you have a management style and a board of directors that's incredibly transparent and that really allows everyone in that generation to have a seat at the table or a say into what's going on in the business and buy in as you move forward. Father ran the business for 40 years, and he ran it all by himself, which is much different than how the company's run today.
The company was very profitable, and under his reins, a lot of the growth that really came later. The stock was held in 4 people's hands while he was president of the company. There didn't seem to be a lot of drive for growth. There was plenty of company profits for the 4 shareholders at the time.
We realized early on that if we wanted to have that same type of lifestyle that our parents enjoyed, that we needed to grow this pie or grow this business in order to allow there to be enough food for all the horses at the trough. My father was very cognizant of that as well. And one of the things that he did is in about 1980, he set up different divisions in the company so that each family member coming into the business would have a place where they could go and they could shine and they could, have their own area of the business to grow.
The way the company is structured, we have so many different areas that people can work very independently and work together as a team, but I think it helps minimize some of the conflicts.
Because the company is diversified, we've been able to make decisions which are based on mutual respect for each other, allowing people in their respective divisions to make decisions where needs be and to allow the major decisions to come down to consensus opinion on a lot of issues.
So it's really critical that there's transparency and that everyone has an opportunity to be heard and to voice their opinions. And then collectively, and we certainly disagree at times, but we'll do that somewhat behind closed doors, and then we'll come into a very professional board of directors, united as a group, having aired all of our differences, and get their guidance and thoughts as we move forward. Now in our generation, we also realize that there's 16 in the third generation. There's already 34 coming up in the fourth generation, 4 of whom already work for the company. So we're really trying to run the business as a very professional business. We realize that as a family, most of our wealth and most of our income on an annual basis comes from this business, and everyone really works well together. And that's not just lip service, and it's based on the foundations and the values that were instilled in us as young kids by the second generation, and we're hoping to do that same with the fourth generation.